Okay, I have a big function here. This is basically a big function which is the function that creates macros. So if I have something like this and then I say create macro, then it will like replicate the setup of tracks. There's one track with 2 lanes here, one track with another, and it will do all that, and it will figure out all the new blocks and where they should go. Is that rebaking? That shouldn't have to rebake. Why is that happening? That's a new bug. Anyway, I was trying to fix, there's some problem I think when macros are sliced. Yes. It just fails this validation that I do afterwards. Then I started trying to write a test for macro slicing, and I realized all of my macro creation code happens in this big function, and this is a difficult function to test because it has side effects. And it just wasn't written as a pure function, but there's no reason for that anymore. So I'm just going to try and refactor it. Reference wrapper, you fucking idiot. What am I doing here? Every year that goes on, I look at the code I wrote 1 year ago, and I go, what the hell were you thinking? If you're writing STD reference wrapper, I think you're doing something wrong. Anyway, let's see. So the impure parts of this function, the side effects are basically these apply the program commit. Program commit is basically, there's like a global program state, which is like the sort of like the canonical state of the program. Yeah, I think this can pretty easily be made pure now because of all of the other refactoring I've done over the past few months. Everything's a lot cleaner now. Most of this is just doing pure stuff, but then the overall function is impure. So I will move it into, I think I have a file gem create, is it? Instance data for dragged sources. I'll have to figure that part out. This is basically, there's 2 ways you can create macros. One is by right clicking. Hello? 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 Test. Okay. Yeah, don't buy Focusrite audio devices because they're really shit. Yeah, my audio device just broke. Sometimes that happens and I have to pull the cable out the back and plug it back in. But looking at OBS, it seems to be working fine again, so okay. Continue. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. So you can create a macro like that, or you can do it by dragging onto here. That's another way of doing it. So this argument here, if it was created by dragging, then this optional will be set. That's the difference. So the same function is used for both ways of creating a macro. And then what happens? It looks like the only difference is this bit. What is happening? So these parts are also reaching into global state to get their information, but there's no reason to do that. I can easily refactor these parts. Right, I'll just try to refactor this and then see if everything's still working, and then I'll write my new test. So I have this thing called create macro block, which is just a very, that just creates like the shell of the macro. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't like actually construct the macro and set everything up, create the content of the macro or anything like that. It's just creating basically the data structure, like the shallow data structure, just for representing the top level of the macro. So this, let's see. This instance data is part of the drag and drop system, which is not going to be part of this refactoring. So I'm going to need to do some kind of translation of that stuff to some other format. What am I doing here? View? What's the view for? Oh, that's not going to be needed. Okay. Drop input state. It's not, again, not used until down there, which is fine. So let me just read this and try and understand it. Information do we actually need here? This is being used to generate this thing, which is just declared here. It's just like where the new block instances go. Okay. That's used down here, and it's just used to generate this. The only thing I actually use is the range, by the looks of things. So I don't even need this. It's just, so this part is pointless. First of all, this probably just exists for historical reasons, like this code has been refactored like 10 times. Oh no, hold on, it's used here as well. I missed that. It's used here as well. Leader lane. Okay, so that is needed. Start location, lane or ints. This should always be a lane, I think. Why would it not be a lane? Lane or ints means either the position of this block instance is a lane or it's an insertion. By insertion, I mean when you're dragging these blocks around, you can drag to a point in between the lanes or at the top or the bottom of the lanes. So this is an insertion. Here the position is on a lane. The position it's an insertion position. So the position is always either a lane or an insertion. When creating a macro, which is what's happening here, we're looking at where's the start location of these blocks that were dragged. It's always going to be a lane. It wouldn't be an insertion. So this should be an assertion, I think. So let's make that change first of all. Doesn't help us much with the refactor, but so now what's going on? So this is just collecting a bunch of information. It's just collecting information about this is the information that's going to be passed in, basically. Or is it? No, I don't even need to. I can just get it from the model, I think. Or can I? No, not necessarily. Okay, I need to pass this information in to the new function. And then that information is used... I don't quite understand what that's used for. Geometry. You get the leader lane. Yeah. Then I have another thing here. Track. Is this the existing track or the new? Tracks. Track. This is the existing track. This is just making a note of the existing state of affairs. I should have all this information already. I don't know why I'm doing this, to be honest. Oh, oh right, I get it. It's because the tracks get compressed down. If you have like gaps, if you have for example, something like this, and you create a macro from this, it's gonna skip over this track in the middle and just do that. So that's what's happening here. So that can be part of the new function, that's fine. Okay. I'm going to need something like macro creation info. Macro creation info. So I just pass in the model. Pass in the span of ref IDs. Macro creation ref info ref ID. There's no need for that, is there? I can just wait. No, hold on. I'm confused. Yeah, there is. Okay, so source lane ID. And song range T. Source range. What is this? So song range. It's this. Okay. Let's put that in an image table. Macro creation ref info. So this is going to be filled out differently depending on whether we are creating a macro by right-clicking a selection or by dragging the selection into the thingamajig. There we go, create macro. What is this create macro block used for? Whoops. Trying to remember the right hotkeys. It's used here. Oh yeah, you can also create an empty macro, which is what that does. I think that's the only place I use that. Oh, I also use it in importing. quick find. Okay, I pass in these IDs and also co-creation info. Okay. So this is going to be my big function, which is mainly going to be what we have here. This I'm going to start here. Oh, hold on. That's what I also want to pass in a temporary allocator. Lane info. Copy all of this all the way up to here, pretty much.
Like the one from Chile, there's no way out. We're out of the green and into the black, there's no fucking doubt. Beware of the matrix and keep a warm heart inside. jump off the train, there's still a long way to ride. Second verse to the sky, and everything's alright. There's a bad moon rising, the belly's fed and can't feel sad. Back on the track of expectation overload. One step back is one ahead, so we've been told. Every leader to make it easy to grow. Got stuck in the ice age, education overblown. Beware of the matrix and keep a warm heart inside. Come jump off the train, there's still a long way to ride. Beware of the matrix and keep a warm heart inside. Come jump off the train, there's still a long way to ride.
Why I'm doing that. Also not sure why I'm doing this get leader thing. Get leader. Why would I be doing that? It doesn't make sense to me. Hold on.
Who you work for in Western Fusion is inbound. The tree is a forest like the one from Cure, there's no way out.
I don't see why that's necessary. I'm gonna get rid of that. And just say lane.
Pick up the youth them worldwide. Put on the knife, put on the gun. I praise the Almighty One. Yo, practice what we're preaching. That is what we teach them. Make the youth them know. Let them find a reason. Bless them every season. Let the youth them grow. Yo, read them like a Bible. Fighting for survival. Friends become rivals everywhere you go. You got to break the cycle. People can't be spiteful. Why they wanna fight you? They don't even know. Give thanks, give praise. Cause what you give out, you're gonna get back. Spread love and spread peace. Cause that's the best way to make an impact. So what's the point in losing your soul? Life is worth more than silver and gold. So rise up and stand tall. Even when your back is against the wall. So keep up the focus, keep up the faith. Good things come unto those who wait. What you think is what you create. Say to the family, it's never too late. Don't try to carry too much on the shoulder. Like nowadays it's getting colder. Nowadays you gotta be a soldier, gotta get a rise up. We got to live it up. We got to bless it up. We never stress it up. We not gonna mess it up. We have to love it up. We have to club it up. They got them massive to the east and the west. Yeah, we're preaching. That is what we teach them. Make the youth them know. Let them find a reason. Bless them every season. Let the youth them grow. Yo, read them like a Bible.
This is very distracting music. I'm just listening to the music instead of thinking.
You got to break a cycle. People can be spiteful. Why they wanna fight you? They don't
I'm gonna
even
have to
know.
move to the next one. Right. I can just do it like... What's this again? work? No? Don't remember how to do this. Is it tie? Thank you, C++. Very sane language. Okay. What's happening here? So the geometry. Get geometry, this is this bit, so we get that from the info now. Info source range. Hit that. Let's assert that we have at least one in this list. Okay, now, how much of this stuff do we have to change? Oh, hold on, I just realized I should not be passing that in there because we already have it. Align these so I can read them easily. Tracks info. This is not even used, apparently. Track. I'm gonna call that track info. So anywhere I'm doing t equals, I want to say, just say x instead. Yada 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 yada. Yep. At the end we just do that. And anywhere I'm doing move t, I'm going to move x. This is wrong. You can't. Okay, that was a bug. This right here is a C++ foot gun, which happen. Normally you wouldn't run into it because because I'm working with persistent data structures all the time. You're always doing this thing where you do like x equals and then the first argument move x. But if you if a later argument also wants to reference x, then this is basically a bug. Which some platforms are more forgiving than others about, but I'm moving from this, I'm moving this and then also using it as another argument to the same function, which I think is just UB. So I've just spotted a bug there. I should just do that so it will copy it instead. I'm doing the same problem there. It's very easy to make that mistake during refactoring and that kind of thing. See, here I was doing the right thing, I wasn't doing the move. So this should be track info.id. This would be track info.lanes. Do I use that lane index? No, again, I don't even use that. This is lane info. Also, I could take these by const reference, I think. Lane info ID. And then we get into the interesting stuff. I have more maps here that I want to replace with temporary allocators and a vector. Yeah. Let's move all this to here. Macro creation ref info. Oh, I already have one called that. This should be called source ref info. Source refs. And let's call that source info. Source info. I don't remember the reasoning behind all this. Possibly this comment explains it, but I'm not going to read it. I don't care. I don't need to know right now. I've got inconsistency with white space here. Do I have no expand tab? What's going on here? There we go. So I just want to replace. Let's move this, make it a free function so it's easier to read this data structure. Let's do this. Pass the allocator in here. What have I done wrong here? Macro creation source info. Oh no, that's fine. Source info, source graphs. Okay. Macro creation graph info. Creating a new workspace here. This must be the workspace of the inner workspace for the macro that's been created here. Which I don't want to do because I'm passing it as an argument. So I should get rid of that. Call that new block ID.
With the skies and the hills when I'm walking
New macro block ID.
letting frozen lights brush my cheeks.
Okay, we're getting there. So get geometry was previously referring to this lambda that we had, but that doesn't exist anymore. Instead, we're just passing in the info. So geometry.
No, I don't know what they are. They vanish like shooting stars. Acidulous and fruity, like her first foot in a summer sea.
This is an ID.
Like the first time you kissed me.
Get the info by going source info, source refs at ref ID, which must exist. And we're creating the ref ID, which is fine. This is technically a side effect, but it's thread safe. Usually when I'm like creating new stuff, I figure out the IDs beforehand and pass them as arguments to the function. When we create macros though, I have to like create all of the contents of the inside of the new macro. So that becomes a bit trickier when it comes to passing in all the IDs that we need. It's better to just generate them on the fly using this thing, which is just an atomic, I think. There it is.
How many lives did I score?
So info range. No, it does not exist. Source range.
You must never put it into words. And the wisdom of his attitude about not defining guns.
So we're cloning the source breath to create the new one. Blah blah blah. And what is this doing? Get block. This should be the this is the block ID. What's going on here? Block ID. Okay. Right, I'm going to create another one of these functions. Which does something. Creation info equals add info. What am I adding? Is it just passing that and the breath ID? I think that gives us all the information we need. Alright, this is the new breath ID, but I also need the source breath ID. Okay, get block of this. All this special handling for receives and manipulators. Source new alloc. Okay, what's going on here?
Confucius would say he would rather.
Oh, I need more allocator stuff going on. Micro creation. Manipulator info. I'm not sure if there's a better way of writing this. I can't use this, just use the square bracket. operator when I'm using these custom allocators. I'd never really sat down and thought about if there's a better way than this monstrosity of just getting stuff in there.
Now, the human being is always ready that anything he can say
Don't know.
about our nation, about how our minds work in the world.
I mean, I could just write a little utility function in line here.
Qualitatively inferior, that is
What would it be?
than the actual author of the ideas themselves that are. So there's something about ourselves which we can never
Get or insert. Get or insert. View map get or insert. Like that, maybe? Key args. Doesn't like that. Oh, mapped type. But it doesn't like that either. What have I done? Echo type. I think I have to look this up. What is it? It's is this part of the type traits library? How? Because it's a reference, right? Thank you, Copilot. Figured it out for me. Okay, and then we return second. Combined to a temporary of type. Temporary of type. Hold on a second. It's interesting. Don't quite understand that. Non-const value. So it's const, is that what you're telling me? It's const. Why is it const? Why is that const? I don't know why that's const. Why is that const? Const. Let's look that up.
I guess I'll have to start earning my money. Never shut it out. Maybe he's in the car. Why don't we settle it now? Gunfire can be heard a long way off. And this isn't the right place, the right moment. I know another way of convincing you.
Trying to figure out why. I don't think it's that. Something I'm not understanding. Where's the const coming in? Where's the constness coming from? Do I need to actually do that? Okay. Okay. Okay, that was a stupid diversion. Right. Get money. Yes, what's happening here? This must be the block ID.
Come on, let's go.
Block ID. Okay. Now we need to put in this function. Oh, this header, I mean. This needs to be passed in. No, I already have it as an argument. Initial control height is not needed here. Make clone. Hold on. This should be passed in as well. New macro graph ID. Make clone. What's the problem here? This is here. Create graph. New macro graph ID. New macro block ID PS. Okay, that should work. So that's a pure function with no side effects. I've sorted out all of the allocator stuff. That's basically, if I was writing the function from scratch today, that's probably the kind of thing I would write. So now I need to rewrite this to be written in terms of this. It should be easy, I think. So all of this. So I need to fill out this structure. I don't know why I decided to use a IMED table. Instead of doing that, I can again I can use can't remember where that is. That's going to be broken now. Source proofs. Okay. Right, and then I do this. T equals the gem main working model. Delete all this stuff. Delete all this. Delete all this. I think I just go T equals gem create macro block. Move T. These arguments are wrong. Should look like this.
I get along without you very well. Of course I do. Except when soft rains fall and drip from
A new macro block ID, new workspace ID, new macro pref ID, source info I do have. PS alloc. Oops.
I do. But I get along
Yes.
without
This.
you very well. I've forgotten you just like I should. Of course I have, except to hear your name or someone's laugh that is the same. But I've forgotten you just like I should. What a guy. What a fool am I.
What have I done wrong? T
My breaking
macro block, workspace,
could kid the
macro pref, source info, PS
what's in store.
alloc.
Should I phone once more? No, it's best that I stick to my tune.
I don't know. Anyway, I can delete all this now,
I
all the way down to
about you very well. Of course I do.
Here,
Except perhaps
I think.
spring. But
Initial
I
control height,
never
whatever that is.
think of spring, for that would surely break my heart in two.
Rightmost, leftmost. No, this stuff's happening already, right? This is moved into here. This is done. This is not needed. This is not needed. Oops, I deleted something I shouldn't have. There we go. Okay, that looks good. Then we do all this stuff. Then we commit again. That should be right, I think. This should behave exactly as it did before. I think. Now we have this function which is testable because it's pure. Which is nice. So what's the problem with the build? Oh yeah, I didn't think of this. Yeah, let's just simplify this stuff. I will actually just create the allocator inside the function. I don't know what does that. One of my plugins just turns off no expand tab all the time. I can't figure out what does that. I think it's Clang D misbehaving.
I got my sunglasses on and it's raining. I got my
Now what?
sunglasses on and it's raining. I got my sunglasses on and it's
Whoa. What is this?
and it's dark. I got my sunglasses on and it's raining in the park.
Oh no. What happened?
Over my I got my sunglasses for my disguise. I got my sunglasses on and it's raining.
Are you complaining that this doesn't have a hash function, I assume? Yeah, that's probably what it is. Oh, position local. Here we go.
Meet me by the river. I know it's raining.
Together into a harmonious whole, an enormous number of elements.
Wow, we finally done. Okay, everything should work the same. Let's see. Crash? Yeah, I knew it. Something's bound to go wrong. Okay, -1. Oh, this is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. Lane ID should be source graph info source lane ID. That's the whole reason that we're bringing in that information. Tracks are the wrong way around. Okay. And then undoing. This is a related, but I know about this bug. This is a different bug that I need to solve. 1, 2, and then 1. Create macro. So it puts the tracks the wrong way round. That is because I was previously using ordered maps and now I'm using unordered maps. Yep, that makes sense. So, do I have a temp? Fuck temp. Let's do this. That's it. It's just this one here. No, and this one as well. Okay. What now? What? What's the problem? Oh, I need a less LAN operator for the ordered map. Also, this should just be called map instead of UMap. Default spaceship? That should provide the less than, actually. Position, local, position. That should work, actually. Tracks info. Oh, whoopsie. Whoops. I should say macro version trucks info. There we go. I don't know why this song is so good. It has no right to be that good when you listen to the individual elements and they're going on. Speaking of good songs. That looks good. Nope. Yeah, I know about that bug. Anytime a macro gets deleted, basically. In fact, that's going to be caught by the test that I'm about to write. Okay, good. Let me commit that. Okay, that's going to be really, really useful for testing. So now I can implement this test. So it's going to be something like this. Let's just copy all this stuff. Oh, actually, I need to... Is slicing also a pure function? Let me see. Slice. How do I do slicing? Because I could also refactor that if it's not. Slice. How does slicing work? I don't know. Slice. This is a slice, I think. Okay. So I want to create a workspace to track a lane. I'm going to create 2 meta block instances, put them into a macro, and then slice the macro. That's my test. That's what I want to do. So meta bref 0 ID. Let's bref 1 ID. Like this. Then I need an ID for macro block. Zero ID. Macro bref 0 ID. And then 2 more macro slice L ID. Macro block slice L ID. Macro block slice R ID. Because when you do a slice, it basically just creates 2 new block instances. What do we have here? Let's align all of that and then sort it so I can read it. Macro block 0. That's the original one. Slice L, slice R. These are the brefs. Meta block. 2 meta blocks. 1 track, 1 workspace, 1 lane. Gem make basic workspace track lane. Okay. Let's set out the locations. Meta bref 0 location. Position lane workspace. Position is 0. Lane is lane ID. Workspace is the workspace ID. F1. I'll just put it to the right a bit. Like that. create the meta blocks. Don't know what that last argument is. What is that? Oh, that's the project settings. That's fine. Create 2 meta blocks. One thing I need to do is, so I just had this like custom test runner thing. I need a way to run individual tests. I haven't added that yet because I've had so few tests. I've had no reason to do that really. But it's going to get to the point soon where I want to run one individual test. I mean, for now I can just go return. Okay, create graph, meta, get rid of those. Meta. So what we've done there is create a workspace with a track with a lane, and then create 2 meta blocks on it, one to the right of the other. And we want to use our new function to create a macro. Create macro block. Block 0 ID. I need the macro block 0 workspace ID for the inner workspace. Macrodef 0 ID. Then we need our source info. Macro source info. Macro 0 source info. And nothing for the project settings, and then an allocator. Okay. Well, it's probably actually worth creating a little utility function here for creating the macro creation info. Span of refs. and it would basically do something like this. And I'll change this to say to be like if we dragged and make this. I need this. Otherwise we do this nonsense. Let's create another function. Make echo from dragged graphs. Pass in this monstrosity. That's a little bit messy, but okay. Better than I had before. So 0 source prefs. Okay, so that creates the macro. It doesn't place it anywhere. So I need to macro F0 lock. Let's place it to the right of these two. Like that. Okay, so we create it and then we place it. Macro 0. Right. Let's do the validation at that point to see if everything's okay. So we do this. Oh, I also need to update the validation thing so that it or do I? No, this is fine. I'll just do it like this. Let's see if that works so far. So just click this button to run the test. What happened? Oh, it's because I put that return. Yeah. I don't have it. Actually have a report summary. So far, it's working. At least it passes the validation. So that should be a workspace with a track with a lane which has 2 meta block instances and a macro to the right of it containing another workspace. that has those meta block instances. So now let's try doing the slice. Gem update slice. Okay, the slice L ID. And then the blocks. Target position, shrink left side. The target is macro graph 0 ID. Position is the position of the slice, so it should be whatever the default block size is, divide by 2. Just slice it right in the middle. And then false, I don't remember what that argument does. Shrink left side, can't remember. I'm expecting that to fail validation now. And then that's the test complete. If it's successfully failing, then I can fix the bug. Interesting. What's the size? 10,000. What? Oh right, because the macro takes its size from the range of the source block instances. I forgot about that. So it should be instead slice position, get target size, get size target, gem macro block 0 ID E divided by 2. Is wrong. Type info. Whoa. Interesting. Target block has no type? Whoa, what is this? What's going on? Whoa. Whoa. What the hell? Target is this 9. Good breath. Target ID is 9. Whoa. If this doesn't exist, then it should throw an exception here. Not sure what's going on here. 7 breaths. Does that make sense? It should be 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why is there 7? Hold on. Why is there 7? 1, 2. Create a macro which should create 3 more. Oh. Can't do that because I'm modifying the model later on in the function. Yeah. The test succeeded, which is not what I was expecting. I was expecting this to happen, but it didn't. Damn. My test, whatever the bug is, my test is not catching it. My test is basically doing this. It's creating 2 meta breaths like that. And then it's creating a macro and putting it there, and then it's slicing in the middle. When I do it manually, the validation fails, but when I do it in the test, it seems fine. I don't understand that. Shrink to left side was true, actually. I don't think that's going to make any difference. It's something to do with the lane ordering. The lanes end up with the wrong positions in the created macro slices. Alright, good example of why test-driven development is shit. It's impossible to write tests that actually catch the things that they need to catch. So I'm going to have to figure out what the actual problem is manually and then update the test afterwards once I figure out what the problem is. And it's something to do with... This is creating a macro which has one lane inside it. The index of this lane is 0 because there's one lane. When I create a slice of this macro, it should end up with 2 macros, each with their own workspace, with their own track, with their own lane, and the index of the lane in each of these sliced macros should be 0 because there's one lane. So there's only ever one lane per workspace. The index should be 0. But for some reason, this fails. This little test here. Slice. Expected position 0. We're going to look at it. 0. That's fine. Next one. I assume this is one of the sliced macros we're looking at now. Expected position 0. The actual position is 1. So where's that 1 coming from? That's the bug. I don't know where that 1 is coming from. Where's that 1 coming from? Okay. Where is the 1? Lane pause. Lane pause. Set lane pause. Is it happening in here? Hold on. Lane pause. There's only one lane. What happens after that? I don't know what's going on. Pause 0. So that's lane pause 0. Which is fine. Then increments to 1, but that's never used. That seems fine to me. And that's not what the problem is. It's when we slice. What happens when we slice a macro? I have no idea. It's doing... This is the logic that happens when we slice a macro. It does a copy. Yeah. So this is where the issue is actually. We end up copying... We're copying the macro. And that's where the error comes in. But why would it not happen during testing? It only happens manually. I don't know. Let's just see what happens. So this is going to be a very complicated process where we copy the macro block. Copy. Macro copy workspace. Okay. Macro copy track. Source track. Position 0. Copy lane. Source lane. Position 0.
We like it here. A vision of the parity.
Okay. New lane.
Parity. And we enjoy it. Blood comes right back. Keeps pumping, pumping. Dark red and clear.
Rewire isn't going to do anything, right? This is just for IDs, I think.
Keeps pumping, pumping.
I don't think this does anything weird. It just sets IDs.
Keeps pumping, pumping.
Can we add the new lane? So the new lane we're adding has a position of 0. ID 191, was that the one? 191. Was that the one that gets changed to 1 for some reason? Let's see, was it 191? How does this work? Acquire. Oh. So the first one's fine, and then 48. Oh, it's lane 48. Lane 48. What's that? Lane 48.
Is interrupted. Is interrupted. Is interrupted.
Where does that get created?
Is interrupted. Is interrupted. Is interrupted. We like it here. Is interrupted. A vision is interrupted. Parity is interrupted.
48.
Is interrupted. Parity. And we enjoy is interrupted. Blood comes right back.
Strong face.
Keeps pumping, pumping. Is interrupted. Dark red and clear. Is interrupted. And we enjoy is interrupted. Blood comes right back. Is interrupted. Keeps pumping, pumping. Is interrupted.
When does this happen? Oops. Oh, it doesn't go in there. Trying to figure out where 48 comes in. It might be here. What spell? And then I place it. So that's during slicing that it should generate 48. 48. Where was it again? Can't remember where it was.
We like it here.
45. So here's 47. So I'm copying the macro. New lane ID 48. New New lane ID 48. This is the one. New lane 48 0. At some point that gets set to 1, right? Lane 48. Where? How is that happening? Well, I can put a breakpoint in somewhere. Set lane position local. There. If that's where it's happening. Where are we? What? 55-55? What is going on here? Track lanes. Let me insert. What's going on? What? Hold on. A lane was added. Get the track. We get. This is assuming that the lane doesn't already exist on the track. This is 55 though, it's not 48. I'm confused. There's definitely a bug there. We're assuming that the lane doesn't already exist on the track at that point. Which is not right. Oh my god, come on. So when a lane was added 55, I don't know what happened to 48. The track already has one, and then we're inserting another one for some reason. Shouldn't do that if it already exists. This is just a confusing function. I don't know if that is the problem or not. I don't know why the test wouldn't catch it if it is. If that's the problem. Do I have the same issue with adding tracks? When a track is added, looks like no. Okay, we got past the validation error, apparently. Now we're on to this, which this is a completely different issue. This happens when workspace is erased, right? So something was erased. The workspace 18. Yeah, the original. Right. That was erased. And then we're going get button for workspace. But we've already removed it, I assume. Is that what we did on workspace? I assumed this already happened. So we removed that button. Workspace 18, that's the inner workspace of the original macro that we created. Workspace menu. Also, this should only look if it's a top level workspace. Is top level workspace. Why is it saying true? That's not true. That's wrong. This is wrong. This should be the only place that's used is top level workspace. Yeah, that's wrong. I understand. How do we figure out if it's the top level workspace? We just have to write a function for it. Reticulator query. Top level workspace. Is leader x and x header parent macro? No parent macro. Gonna have to take a break in a minute. Yeah, see, it still it says it is a top level workspace. 14. Are you sure? Because it's because the parent macro, there's no parent macro because that's referring to the macro core. That's referring to the macro core. Right. What I should be checking is header, leader, header, macro. There we go. There we go. That's what I wanted, because that's a macro block. So meta, remove all the breakpoints. Oh, is this gonna work? Macro, slice. Oh my lord, still. It's getting further. This is a different bug again. So 14, workspace 14 doesn't exist because it was just erased. This, I know what this is. Notify requires lo-fi update. We just have to check if this still exists at this point. This is because this is deferred. Deferred operation. That makes perfect sense. So if find ID. Oops. Then do that. Or is it exists? Hello? Okay. So this is being triggered because a bunch of stuff on the workspace layout is changing because things are being erased. But then the workspace itself is also erased after we already made a note to do this deferred thing. We just have to check if it still exists at that point. Meta, macro, and slice. Hey, there we go. And the slicing worked correctly. That's good. Should be able to do that again. With a more visual example. Try it like this. Slice. Everything's working right, looks like. Then it'll probably crash when I do this, right? Oh, fuck. What happened here? Front end react to the map changing for this breath. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist, dickhead. So how could it change? Interesting. Breath. Map changed for the front end breath, but it has already been erased from here. Hold on. So we do this first. And this is just happening alphabetically. And maybe that's bad. Hold on, let me think. Change the map for this. This already doesn't exist. Hold on. I don't know how this happened. So let's have a look. Gem, objects, refs, size 8. And then size 0. So everything was deleted. Everything was deleted. Everything was deleted, dickhead. So what? What? Everything was deleted. But we haven't reacted to that happening yet. Oh god. Hold on. Oh, this is a nasty one. This still has 8. It's been deleted. It's been deleted. Good point. I didn't think of that. That's a good point. I have to react to that stuff first before reacting to the self. It doesn't make sense to do it like this. I get it. It doesn't make sense. Unless I just add a bunch of checks during the processing, like for example here. That's probably the only place. Or maybe here as well. No? Actually the only time we react to the model itself changing is with here. Changed. So it's here, changed breath. It's literally just here. This is the only place this is ever going to happen. Okay. I'll just do it like this instead. Okay, that looks good. Can I clone? Still crashes eventually. Another get. It's the same mistake again. I'm not taking into account the fact that things could have already been erased at the point where we're reacting. Where we're reacting to the core. What's happening here? The core moved, changed location, it's on a lane, it's a macro. We're gonna look through all the workspace cores. Core's been deleted. Core's been deleted. Core's ordered. Let's have a look. Size 2. Lane.
Agora sim, café com pão, agora sim.
This is this structure. Does that mean this has not been updated when it should have been?
Passa ponte, passa poste, passa pasto, passa boi, passa boiar.
So reacting to the core changing position first, are we? Core. It should have happened. Oh, it might have been deferred. Is that deferred? Yeah, this is deferred. This is processed in a deferred way. I understand the problem here. So this list of cores is not updated until later, but then we're accessing it before it was updated. I think is what's going on here. Yeah. No. Backend lane reticulated. Refs generate ordered cores. Yeah. So whatever I'm doing here, I could also defer this, which would solve it. You should recursively iterate through its contents and generate the absolute ranges for everything. Yeah. I get it. I need to stop and have a break, but I get it. 388. Should do. This is broken. We need to defer the call to get all. Let's pause deep because ordered calls need to be regenerated first. Let's just do it now. I really need to stop soon and have a break. I wanted to go for a walk before it got dark, but I don't think that's going to happen. Where else have I made this mistake? There as well. Must be deferred. So it's 3 places that I need to do that. And I'm doing the same thing every time. I'm generating abs ranges. Generate abs ranges. Generate abs ranges. So I'm just gonna generate abs range for this inner workspace, which is a VID. Abs ranges for macro inner cores. Generate inner cores. Abs ranges. Positions of cores of inner macro workspace. It's deferred because we need to wait. We need to wait for ordered cores to be generated first before we can search for inner macro inner cores. If that makes sense at all, but I'm just doing this fast because I want to stop. What's the problem? What? Oh yeah, it's workspace VID. This is basically the same every time, right? Pretty much. So wait for the ordered cores to be generated first and then you do this one. Excuse me, can you not fucking do that? Generate macro inner cause abs ranges. Oh, this is actually that's fine because this happens in a loop. Okay, generate blah 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 blah. Inner workspace ID. It's basically this. Okay. Okay, that should be okay, I think. Doing a bunch of changes. And then we do fuzz test, see what breaks. Wow. Okay, that's good. This is basically doing an insane amount of testing every millisecond. I'm really glad I decided to add this fuzz. It's basically just jumping randomly around in history. Okay, that seems pretty good. Okay, what did we do there? Fix macro bugs. Need to have a break and probably go for a quick walk and then eat something and then continue this evening. Oh yeah, I need to look into that. This is solved, isn't it? I did that yesterday. This is not solved. Okay.